Everybody has an opinion.
No, I don't think so.
I employ that bloke for when gigs are going bad.
You look incredibly rock and roll.
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. It's a little bit of weed.
Hey.
G'day.
Welcome back to episode 19.
19. How
have we done it? I think not long ago we were talking about, what was it, under 7 or 6 or something? 6, 7.
Yeah.
It was the number that people
That's
quit.
right. Average was 6
And here we are.
episodes, and we are here.
And we're joined today by a special guest. I'm not going to give you the whole intro right now, but Scott Dikkers is here with us right now in the studio. G'day, Scott.
My eyes are watering.
It is a pleasure to be here. I've travelled far.
You have. You've travelled. You lost a whole day in travel, didn't you?
Yeah, I travelled one day into the future to get here.
I always say, Australia, we are time zonally in the future, and I'm just sorry we didn't warn you guys about 9/11. We could have done more.
I know, there's so much you could have done.
Oh, man.
And apparently you have friends who, because they live in Australia, invest and get out of things like Apple and eBay at just the right time. And why you didn't tell me about that?
Oh, dear.
We wanted to keep it all to ourselves.
I guess so.
That's right. So are you saying that we experienced the 80s before you did?
You sure did.
All right.
Yeah, the entirety of the 80s.
Have you ever heard of Bon Jovi? Never mind.
I could have invested in Bon Jovi and been a bazillionaire.
Bon Jovi stock.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Well, let's jump right into the news. The Raw Comedy National Grand Final.
Wow.
Wow, we were there.
Does Scott know how big this is?
I don't think so. So the Melbourne International Comedy Festival runs a national competition for stand-up, fresh new stand-ups.
Nice.
They do multiple heats in every state, and then from that is produced the national grand final contestants. It's televised on TV, which we do have here.
Yeah.
And it's not live, but it goes out and there's a winner crowned and they get all the spoils sent to Edinburgh, things like that. So
And about between 900 and 1,000 people compete every year. So it's not a small thing. And I will add, when you say fresh, some of them have been in the business for maybe 3 or 4 years. Some of them.
fresh
They're
maybe.
new-ish.
But they're
on the
newish,
new side.
yeah. That's right.
And
that's
that's exciting.
It
And
is.
I do know how big the Melbourne Comedy Festival is, I think, because you explained it to me.
Yeah.
It takes over the town.
And for the listeners, Scott is pointing at me.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's exciting. And when you're saying the finals.
Yes, so we attended that on...
The 12th of April, Sunday.
That's right. And Joshua Khoury from New South Wales, I think Sydney potentially, was
That's
the
right.
winner.
I can guarantee it was from Sydney because I met his parents. His mum was glowing with
Wasn't she?
admiration and pride. Yeah, for
That's
her
a big
son.
deal.
Yes.
Congratulations to Joshua.
And
Yeah.
special shout out to Georgia Rice and Jake Zukerman, both from Victoria, from Melbourne, Victoria, who were the runners-up. Not often that you get 2 runners-up, but it was such a tight competition.
Yep.
Georgia Rice is, of course, a Hard Knock Knocks Comedy School alumna.
Sweet.
So really proud of her. She's only been doing comedy a year and a half.
And we've interviewed her twice before this.
You discover talent.
We do.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes.
I could
The
be going
things we
places.
could do with you, Scott.
How do they judge the humor? Are they measuring? Are they using science? Is it measuring the laughs?
I've seen the judges' sheet over the years. I think it changes every year, but it is actually based on metrics, certain things. I couldn't tell you an exact example, but yeah, they do have a specific way of judging.
And who are these comedy experts, these judges? Where do they find these people?
This year, I believe it was Susan Proven, who is the CEO and director of the Melbourne International Comedy Festival for
that's a
the
good
last
credential.
30
Yeah.
years
Yeah,
or
sure.
something.
Okay.
We had Reese Nichol.
Reese Nicholson, redheaded
We had
Reese
Reese-
Nicholson. Yes.
We
that's
had-
right.
Headed, already somewhat qualified.
Yeah, and a great comedian. He's
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe we had representatives from our big booking agents. No,
And the big one
management.
was from the Chortle.
It was Stephen Bennett.
Yeah, Stephen Bennett,
from Chortle.
Yeah.
Big reviewer who's here from the UK.
Yep.
So really, you'd feel good winning, I think, with a judges
Totally.
panel like that.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
validated.
And hundreds of people in the audience. It's the Melbourne Town Hall. So one of the oldest buildings in Melbourne. The Town Hall would have been probably one of the first. And we were there and it was amazing.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations to all the winners. It'll be very interesting to see how Joshua goes overseas. It's always a great opportunity to go to Edinburgh. So one to keep an eye out for.
And I'll just say one more thing. Just in case Georgia decides that she's not from Melbourne, but rather she's from Frankston. So again, this is for Scott and our listeners who may not know Melbourne and Frankston. Frankston is technically a suburb of Melbourne. Frankston's a suburb of Melbourne, but it's far enough away that it can become one day its own little megalotropolis. Yeah, it has its own culture down there.
It's very ghetto.
Now, you obviously liked her, and you I'm sure enjoyed the winner. Was there anyone else that you saw that you were like, oh my God, amazing, too bad they couldn't get some kind of
There was a lot of musical comedy
door
this
prize?
time.
There was
Musical
some-
comedy.
yeah.
May was very good. Was it May?
May Gibbons, I
May
think it
Gibbons?
was. She was fantastic.
Yeah, with a little guitar, like a mini guitar.
Sure.
Yeah, the musical comedy. I think I can't recall his name. You'll know the brown haired guy who did the real, and his voice was so good that I think almost the comedy in his song was lost by just how talented of a performer he was.
You don't want to be too skilled.
Yeah, and
when
he
you're
was-
a comedian, you want to be a bit bumbling.
That's it. You've got to have a bit of a falter or
of a
something, and he
bumble.
was just perfect. So it was really hard, I think, to judge. So congratulations to everybody. The Deadly Funny National Grand Final, in a similar vein, is the comedy competition for Indigenous Australians.
Nice.
This year, One Silly Ring, cool name. I assume a stage name. If not, your parents made a great choice. One Silly Ring from Western Australia won this year. It took place at the Arts Centre on Saturday, the 11th of April. Special shout out to Gary Hamaguchi from WA and Biriga, again, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, from New South Wales. Deadly Funny remains Australia's only dedicated Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander comedy competition.
And it was in the Arts Centre. Now, I know you're staying very close to that. That's you're very close to St Kilda Road. The Arts Centre, once your jet lag is over and you can go outside at night time, looks like the Eiffel Tower.
Nice.
Yes, only a very small version of it over a arts building, a circular building.
We've been to the Shrine.
The Shrine,
So
yes.
it's near that.
In fact, you'd see the trees might be in the way, but you would see normally down that road, that's St Kilda Road, all the way to the Aboriginal face at the end. Did you see that?
No, that's
So next time you go, if you do have another chance, right at the end, the furthest you can see, there's a white building, and the shape of the balconies between the white of the balcony and the black of the glass that's behind, that is the occupant's apartment, it makes a native Indigenous Australian face.
That's fantastic. To look out for that.
And just want to say to Lily, I think you were talking about Brandon Duff. He was the man on the guitar with
Yes,
an
there it is.
amazing voice.
Absolutely gorgeous voice.
Yeah.
I think there were some jokes made by the host about Australian Idol and singing. He should probably look at Australian Idol because just a gorgeous voice.
Yep, that's right.
Bill Bailey has announced his 2026 Australian tour.
He's British, right?
He is a British.
Just for Scott's reference.
He's a Pommy across the pond.
Wonderful.
Vaudevillian, he announced that on the 9th of April. The show is billed as a mix of comedy, music and variety, which we were just talking about. Love a bit of music. And tickets go on sale on the 13th of April. Fun fact about Bill Bailey is he plays a theremin, and he's one of the only people at the moment. You know the theremin?
No, what's a theremin?
Theremin is a musical instrument whereby
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
You play it in the air. It's
Surfing USA.
Oh, wow. Oh, really?
Doctor Who space agey, so you play the notes in the air, really.
Yeah, a
Dan
theremin.
Lyon and I are theremin artists.
Oh, my
really? So
goodness.
you two play the theremin?
There's a theremin at a local museum near us that you can go and play with for free.
Cool.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
Is there a sort of a technique? Because it seems
Yes.
like, I think there would
Because
be.
if you can make amazing sounds if you know what you're doing with your hands. But if you just walk up to it and do like this, it'll do weird things like and you're like, oh, it's very subtle. How you have to make it's a beautiful, incredible instrument.
Yeah, I've heard some fantastic.
You got to
things
get your hands near one.
in one, on one.
Near.
Well,
if you touch it, it just
you never
doesn't
touch
work.
it.
No, you're just like moving your hands around it.
It's like atomic level music because atoms don't touch either.
There you go.
It's similar to like static, but it's sound. So you move and it like changes the sound wave. Yeah.
It's very cool.
Amazing piece of machinery.
Moving on to comedy history, guys. April 12th, 1947, David Letterman was born in Indianapolis.
David Letterman was born in India, the country of India.
He was just born in India.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
There we go. You can edit that in.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah,
good.
there we go. Enough of us said that. Enough that you can
I'm
edit that in.
surprised they haven't changed the name
Of Indianapolis?
and Indiana. I mean, given that Redskins was Redskins changed the baseball team?
Americans are very resistant to changing those names.
Yeah.
Chiefs, the Redskins,
Yep.
you name it.
We lost our Redskins candy.
We did, and we lost our Cheers. It's now Cheers.
Oh, yeah, cheers, cheese.
Used to be called, and this is for a historical reference, this is, and don't hit me. Our cheese, named after the not the inventor, but the fellow who created this block of cheese, COON, coon.
We had coon cheese.
Coon cheese. Yeah. So that changed around about, I'd say 10 years ago.
Yeah, I'd say a decade ago.
To cheers.
To cheers cheese. And
We got rid of some of our Eskimo stuff. We got rid of Eskimo pies, I think, and some other things.
Oh, I haven't had an Eskimo pie for years.
maybe that's
Right,
why.
they got rid of it.
You just didn't know they're called
Inuk pies.
Inuit pie.
Inuit pie.
Yeah.
Sure. Very good.
So Indianapolis, David Letterman, of course, well known for, I don't know if he created that whole table coffee cup interview style or
There was Jack Parr and Steve Allen started that in the 50s and 60s, and then Johnny Carson took over from Jack Parr. David Letterman was a host, a guest host on the Johnny Carson show for a long time, and Johnny kind of anointed Dave to have his own show. And he tried to do it differently than Johnny Carson. It was much less traditional. He was kind of harking back to the original Fred Allen show, which was a radio show.
Yep.
They didn't do interviews, but it was kind of, well, maybe they did, but they mostly were doing silly material and skits and stuff.
Right.
And it was, Steve Allen was similar, where they just were trying to like bust the mold and do something weird and fun with the format. So David Letterman definitely gets plenty of credit for
Maybe undue.
I think the main thing about David Letterman was his sarcastic attitude. Before him, almost everybody communicated more straight. They were like, how are you today? I'm doing well, thank you. But David Letterman introduced this, it was kind of like a post-Kennedy assassination sarcasm, where it's like everything's said with a wink, everything's said ironically, and you kind of have to interpret someone to know what they're really trying. He was very snide.
Yep.
And that sarcasm was just, everybody talked like that.
Yeah.
It was kind of a Steve Martin, David Letterman thing together where nobody was really genuine. They were just jokey all the time. Before that, people weren't jokey in everyday conversation. They were just very straight.
Yeah, right.
And Letterman started in stand-up, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
it was
that
part
I
of the
think,
big stand-up boom in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Andy Kaufman, Jay Leno.
And was that like the New York club scene or?
They were in New York, some of them. Most of them were, I think, with in LA at the Improv and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Incredible.
Hollywood Improv.
Well, he was so influential that he, in fact, affected our own show, which was Steve Vizard. Now, Steve Vizard almost did a carbon copy of Letterman down to almost the look.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, I think Steve Vizard has a Jewish background as well. So similar to the look, the table, the background, and even the coffee cup and that whole drum roll fist pump back and forth.
He did innovate that.
Yeah.
He would, Paul Schaefer, who was his band leader, would almost like score Dave's little movements.
Yeah.
And that's something they did a little bit on the Tonight Show. Doc Severinsen was the band leader there, and they would do a little back and forth with the band or whatever. But
And then
Paul
that-
Schaefer came from comedy, so he was a comedic band leader, which you hadn't seen before.
And that became such a thing, didn't it? Like having those beats and those cues and those sound
Yes.
effects. And it
Totally.
became almost the format that people, especially satirists, ripping off doing skit shows and stuff, you know, those key things, a mug, big hair, they're all key stones, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you think of it that way, that definitely, all that stuff comes from Letterman.
Yeah.
There you go.
April 15, 1994. So going right back to, I mean, not that long for you guys maybe, but I was just a little
Like
girl.
yesterday.
Yeah. I think I was at university at the time. Yeah.
Well, I was watching 4 Weddings and a Funeral,
Okay.
which went wide in the United States. What I love, I'm a big fan of how expensive movies are to make versus what they bring in. 4 Weddings and a Funeral was made on $4.4 million US as their budget, went on to make $245 million worldwide. Now, I'm not sure if that's related to Hugh Grant because I've also got Bridget Jones's Diary, which was my favourite film. Similarly, came out in 2001, made on a $25 million budget and brought in $282 million. So
I mean, Hugh Grant might have had something to do with it.
something to do with
It's
it.
that bumbling British. Hello. I'm so bumbling.
Yes, well, I think both of these were pre the whole incident, right?
Oh.
They were.
The unfortunate events
In a car, I believe.
in a
It was
car.
in a car.
What was her name? What was the lady's name? It was like
chastity or charity or constance or I'm just thinking about all the strippers I've ever known.
Yeah.
Like that.
Something like that. Cinnamon.
And funny because it was in America where it happened, right? So it blew up in America because America is so
We're very prudish.
in a way, in some ways. Had it happened in Europe, particularly in Italy, they would have given him an award probably.
They would have elected him.
the mayor of the town. Yeah,
government.
exactly.
That's it. April 9, 2017, John Clark died aged 68.
So young.
So young.
Yes.
He was bushwalking, actually, when I think he had a heart attack and passed away.
Yep.
Very Australian, which is interesting considering he's New Zealand born.
Oh well, that's very Australian then. It could have been a drop bear though.
You've got to be aware of the drop bears here in
I
Australia.
don't know what that is. Never heard
You
of
don't know what a drop bear is?
No, I do not.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our Virgin American who does not know what a drop bear is. What do we do with him?
Send him out into the bush.
Yeah, I think we'll leave it.
Can I just guess what it is? Because it sounds like you're walking through the bush and somebody drops a bear on your head.
I mean, that's not far off.
Sure.
Is it a creature that lives in the trees that will sometimes jump on your
It
head?
has been known to do that.
And it'll bite you?
It's like a really vicious version of a koala. My dad used to have the fullest head of hair and we were walking and a drop bear got him and it almost scalped him.
What is it to just scrape you or bite or what does it do?
And the biggest problem is in
This is made up.
in regional towns.
This is totally made up.
regional towns. It gets very dark.
Right?
No, it's
Yeah.
real.
No,
it's
totally
regional
made up.
towns.
But it's a good hoax because we would believe anything about Australia because you guys have the craziest animals
Scott,
anywhere in the world.
I
A drop
swear
bear.
this
you
is not a
literally
lie.
make that up just to screw with terror. With
Scott,
tourists.
all I'm going to say
It's
is
beautiful.
go out and ask any Australian anytime.
Oh, I
whether
know
a
what they'll
drop
say. They'll
bear-
say, "Oh yeah,
They'll do exactly what we
Of
do.
course, they'll go right along with it. I
Still
love
real.
it. I love it.
Santa Claus is real. Drop bears are real.
You're a very comedic people.
We are. Well, yeah.
Antagonistic, I think, is probably the better word.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, great. So, and he was a satirical comedian and would do, what was his partner's name?
Brian Dorr.
Brian Dorr, and he would do back and forth. They would talk about, very political, they would talk about big issues, but they would, for example, how at the Sydney Olympics, whether it's true or not, they made the 100-metre track for the Olympic Games possibly 110 metres or possibly 90 metres. I think it was less than 100 metres.
Yes.
I think it was 90 metres. And so the satire of their show sort of played into that, and they would interview each other as if they were government officials or political members. Yeah.
Were they stage, radio, TV? What were they?
Well, it was kind of very early reels, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
It was back and forth to two with a black background and just their faces. Okay. No special makeup or mustaches or hair wigs or anything. They played themselves, and it was often played as a reporter or a journalist interviewing a government representative.
Great.
Yeah, and very funny.
Yeah, very cool.
Sounds like a lot of fun. We have a hoax in America that I'll work on you guys because you did the drop bear with me. We have a newspaper in America called The Onion.
Oh.
You heard of this? And it's a real newspaper. Everything in it is true.
I heard. That's where we get our
And
news.
Yeah, that's where. And if you get a subscription, you'll know the news before anyone else knows the news. So you should subscribe and you should read it to really be on top of things.
That's it. Before anyone else. It's all.
I got a physical Onion, The Onion,
Oh, good for
way back when I think I was in Missouri, and not far from.
Unlikely place.
Yeah. I was in Columbia,
Missouri.
and there was a physical newspaper, The Onion. I got it. I think I paid money for it. I'm not sure if it was free. I can't remember. And that was my first exposure. And I do remember the article or the headline to this day, and it was something along the lines of, yesterday, 14-year-old Charlie Smith crashed a Harrier jump jet into the side of a cliff. Representatives from Make-A-Wish Foundation said, and I lost it at that point because I didn't read the rest of it. That was the end of the joke, really. And The Onion, of course, continues to write. It was so funny. And that was my experience of the very first The Onion.
And I'm guessing that was in the aughts, the 2000s.
The noughties.
Oh, the noughts.
The noughts, you call them.
2000.
We
It
call
would have
them
been
the
2000. I was 25, yeah.
Pre 9/11. It's a marker for me. Some people go BCAD. I go before 9/11, after 9/11.
Yeah. Well, it was pre me getting on a Greyhound bus and traveling from Columbia, Missouri, all the way to Florida, Orlando. I think it was like a 24-hour bus ride. There was only 2 white guys on this whole bus. And believe it or not, we stopped somewhere in I think Arkansas. We were surrounded by wheat fields at the time. And I get on, it was daytime, and I had picked up a can of tuna, and I had a pocket knife back when you could carry pocket knives because it was pre 9/11. And I opened the can of tuna on the bus, and I ate the tuna with the bigger blade of the pocket knife, of the Swiss Army knife. I kid you not. One of the guys on the bus turns around to me and goes, "Are you from Australia?" I hadn't said a word, but that's not a knife. This is a knife. Yep. Such a
Crocodile Dundee
stereotype.
reference. Yeah, that's all we know about Australia is what we learned from Crocodile Dundee.
That's it.
100%.
So The Onion, amazing. And you were there at the very beginning.
I was, yeah. I was The Onion's first and highest paid employee. I was on the founding team of people who put it together. But the 2 main founders, Tim Keck and Chris Johnson, hired me because I was, at the time, this is 1988, I was the big man on campus in terms of comedy because I had a comic strip that was very popular in the Madison, Wisconsin area. And I had syndicated the comic strip to other towns, and I made these T-shirts. Everyone on campus had one of my T-shirts. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing one. And they wanted some of that mojo for this new humor publication they were starting up. And I didn't want to move my comic strip, but I did want to be involved because I liked them. I thought they were smart, and I loved the idea of a comedy newspaper. So I volunteered to do several other comic strips for them with different drawing styles, different names. So it would look like they had this impressive stable of cartoonists doing their publication. Not like, a pathetic high school yearbook that has the one kid who can draw, who does all the drawings.
Was that you? Were you the
Unfortunately, yes. And then, so that's how I got involved. And then a year later, they sold it to me.
Oh, wow.
They were out. And so I was owner, editor-in-chief. I had a couple of partners. One of them we bought out a couple of years after that. And my business partner was like the ads guy. He sold the ads, and I ran the funny part.
Yeah.
Wow.
I came up with the jokes. And
The Harrier jump jet? Do you remember that one?
no, because I was not there. I've taken many hiati.
Yeah.
And that was during one of them. I left from about 2000 to about 2005. But they were doing great work. The people who I left running it, Rob Siegel was the editor then. Super funny. We've done a lot of Make-A-Wish humor.
Yeah.
Do they have an organization like that here? Is it called the same thing?
Yeah, we have Make-A-Wish. Yeah.
It's called Make-A-Wish.
So, yeah, we've got...
Yeah, we have Make-A-Wish Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done some super fun.
And similarly, it is ripe for humour. Good on those kids.
Well, that's fantastic. And, of course, The Onion being incredibly satirical, but very truthful. And that's what satire is, isn't it? It's kind of showing a mirror to the issue, even though the mirror might be slightly warped, like one of those fairground type of mirrors, but it is somewhat true.
Yeah, I would say satire is, first of all, it has to be funny. Because there's a lot of, some people call it satire, where it's kind of serious, or they have a very serious point to make, and they communicate it through made up stories or drama, but they're not necessarily funny. So to me, satire has to be really funny. And that's the main thing. That's like the carrier.
Yep.
And then, so that's the spoonful of honey. And then the crumpled up medicine in the honey is the message that you're trying to communicate. The satirical message that you have about what's wrong with life, what's wrong with being a human being, what's terrible about everything, what could be better.
Yep.
And as long as you've got that secret ingredient, you've got satire. If you just have the funny, then you have comedy. It's great. Everybody loves comedy. Everybody loves laughs, but it's not all satirical.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. No one wants medicine shoved down their throat, that message, right?
That's
But
an
if you
editorial
coat it-
column.
Yeah.
If you want to write an editorial column, you give people the medicine straight.
Yep.
Some people like it like that. Other people need it with
Makes it go down a little bit
completely
easier.
hidden in a bunch of honey.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that.
And the topic that you're presenting at the Business of Comedy conference, which is hopefully tomorrow, if I get this out in time, because I'm doing the post.
Tell me, because I should know.
Yeah. Well, it is on why we need satire for a healthy democracy. And I don't think in the history of the world there has been a more important time for satire to wake this man up. And I think we all know who I'm talking about, a single individual.
Nothing's going to wake that individual.
Nothing's going to wake
Certainly
him up.
not humor.
Oh, my goodness. But
Maybe an underage sex trafficked individual.
Yeah.
would do it.
From Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Maybe.
And she's like, I didn't wish for this at all.
Oh, that's awful.
That is awful.
Dark comedy. And you'll be speaking alongside a couple of other satirical. So we mentioned The Chaser earlier. Did we make it? I can't remember if we did this over lunch or we did it. We had a chat over lunch.
We
and
may have
talked
had a few beers at lunch, guys.
at The Chaser. And that's John Delmenico and Andrew J. Nash, who is on this podcast last week.
Yes, he was.
And was the technical advisor of HBO's Silicon Valley, and Dan Illick, who is an amazing moderator, podcaster, satiricist himself and comedian. The four of you are all on stage tomorrow for lunch at 12:30 at the Crowne Plaza.
Going to be a lot to talk about.
I'm looking forward to it. Very
Yeah.
exciting.
Let's crack open a beer, please.
All right. Beer
Getting the sweats.
Now, Scott, I know you don't drink beer.
That is correct.
Yeah. Did you ever drink beer?
I have drunk beer in the past. Yeah.
But I also know, and this is no secret, but you have a certain gluten intolerance.
Yes, I have celiac disease,
Yes.
which prevents me from enjoying
Life.
glutinous products.
We did watch you have a burger today with just the patty,
Yep.
and the cheese.
And I will say this, for anyone who's never had a burger without the patty, it's really delicious. The patty, all the bun, sorry, did I say patty? I meant a burger without the bun.
Yeah.
The only thing the bun does is disguise the delicious flavor of the meat. Like, why are you eating the bun?
Yeah.
It's just a silly thing.
You heard it
It's a
first here.
convenient way to hold it, I guess. But if you just use a fork and eat a hamburger or a cheeseburger, it's delicious.
It reminded me when I used to eat keto. It was the same thing, you eat exactly like that.
That's right.
It's very nice.
Keto means you're just eating protein, is that right?
Yes.
No carbs, but you can eat fat as well. Right?
You have to eat fat, lots of fat.
Some carbs, just minimal carbs.
Minimal. Well, I went no carbs because, whatever.
You hate yourself. All right. Well, talking about hating ourselves, this is gluten-free beer. Now, I have had gluten-free before, not this particular brand.
I don't think it's going to be very good.
Yeah,
Well, let's...
Two Bays Brewing Co. Pale Ale crafted from malted ancient grains, naturally gluten-free.
So they're using different grains other than barley, right? That's their deal because barley has gluten.
Yes.
Honestly, that's not bad.
It's okay.
I've had I think a Hahn beer, which is a more mainstream, your kind of your Budweiser equivalent.
Sure.
This is Two Bays, which is craft beer, because I don't think it's mainstream.
It's
And
a good looking can.
I'm noticing on the front, it says endorsed by Celiac Australia.
Well, look at that.
Do you sure I've got two more? Do you want to have a sip?
It's a no.
No, I won't be having any.
No, that's fine.
They're not. If they were a sponsor, I'd guzzle it like there was no tomorrow. But they're not a paid sponsor.
You heard it first, Two Bays Brewing Company, from Scott Dikkers, formerly of The Onion, and speaking, a keynote speaker. We'd love your sponsorship.
I'd love to know what they're using to make it.
Yeah,
naturally-
I'm thinking it's.
It doesn't say.
quinoa.
It tastes very good.
It says ancient grains, and when I see
oat.
ancient grains, it is usually quinoa, those sorts of things. So.
Yeah,
And this says brewed
arrowroot. Who
by
knows?
Two Bays Brewing Company here in Victoria, which is Dramana. So that's down
Dramana.
not far from
Frankston.
which we talked about earlier, and some hot springs as well.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
And the great thing about Dramana is you can go, they have one of the biggest Vic Roads drivers learning centres there. So you could essentially go down, get your L's, and then drive yourself to Two Bays Brewing and pick up a nice six-pack.
And when you get your L's or get your P plates, you can take your girlfriend to the drive-in cinema.
Oh, yes.
They still have one. One of the the old school American.
I think that's only one of two we have left potentially.
I think so.
In the whole country.
In Victoria, for
Victoria.
sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there it is. And now I just want to boast because I think you guys have smaller beers. We have a 375 milliliter can.
It looks like the same size can.
Yeah.
I will say. I don't know the conversion. Well, they do have liters on our cans,
but what milliliters? What would you guys use instead?
We use 16-ounce cans.
Right.
I don't know what that. You'd have to Google that.
I'm Googling it right now.
I bet you it's exactly 16 ounces.
I think it's
See,
exactly
do you know
the
what's
same.
interesting? We use milliliters metric system for everything except when we give birth to our children. They're still measured in pounds, ounces, and inches.
So crazy.
So I know that my children were £8.9 and £8.10 and how many inches they were, but I couldn't measure anything else that way. So when I hear pounds or inches, I have to convert
Think
it
of
with
the
my
infants.
baby. I have to slice them up in my mind and be like, okay, maybe the head would. That's very morbid, but
That's so odd. that
Very.
They would do that.
Very.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
out of all the things to standardise the weight of your children, why does
Yes.
that need to be?
Yeah. tradition, I guess.
Okay, so the standard American can of beer is not 16, it's 12, according to AI.
That is not correct. 16 ounces.
Which is 355 mils.
How many mils?
I'm reading this. It says the standard American beer. The internet's never wrong.
375.
375. So
But you're right. There is a 16 ounce beer, and that is 400 and something.
okay.
So
That'd have
is
to be 440.
473.
Oh, wow.
So maybe you're talking about, is it like the 16
Well, soft
ounce?
drinks like a Coke. I feel like the can is slightly bigger than that.
Yeah, see, our can of Coke will be the same size as this.
Yeah, okay.
And we even have a smaller one than this too.
Oh, yeah, the little
We do
ones.
have the smaller ones too.
You do?
The minis. Yeah.
The minis, yeah. There we go. The reason I bring that up, Scott, is because occasionally some of our brewers drop the can size to 355, and we even had one at 330, and
Why
we
do they do
don't
that?
like that.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Less beer.
Oh, because they're trying to just sell less for more. Is that the deal? It's
I'd say so.
I think so.
okay.
It's wrong. Is
It's
what
wrong.
I'm saying.
That is wrong. They
It's
should
un-Australian.
standardize.
Very
It is.
un-Australian.
Beautiful. Well, normally I have a funny little trivia fact and I will just address Morry, but we have you here today, Scott, and I've tried to tailor it for your tastes. So, Morry, Scott, I don't know if you know this,
I don't know if you know this, kids. Has it ever
but
made
Minneapolis is not only home to yourself, but one of the quietest rooms on earth. Do you know about this?
One of the quietest rooms on earth.
It's an,
I know that there's a, forget what they call this chamber.
yes, it's
In
the
the-
anechoic chamber.
Well, I was going to say there's one in Chicago at the Science Museum where you can, it's a big room, but it's dead silent and you can have two people stand on either end of the room facing away from each other and whisper, and you can hear the person because the acoustics are
Oh,
so
it's circular?
incredible. No, it's sort of like parabola shaped.
Mm.
Okay. So the opposite of this room then.
Yeah,
This
tell me
room
about
is so
this
quiet.
room. I've never heard of
Yes.
this room.
So this is in Orfield at the Orfield Laboratories.
I've never heard of that. This is
and-
all made up.
No, it's all completely real, and it's an anechoic chamber. Had to look up how to pronounce that many times, and it's said to be so silent that people have reported hearing their own heartbeat, stomach noises, blood moving through their head, and even their eyelids shutting when they blink.
Don't buy it.
Which is so gross.
Not buying it. So where is this place? Downtown Minneapolis?
I'm going to get the exact
Yeah,
location
give me the
for
address.
you.
Well,
I'm going.
as you look up that, I've been in a recording studio in Shanghai. Actually, did a voiceover for a TV show at one point. They put me in a room to do the voiceovers. I was very uncomfortable in this room. It was dead silent. I could see the producers through a glass window, and they would give me signals to indicate this and that. But I didn't want to be in there more than an hour. I believe this kind of room is equally as bad. Like there needs to be noise.
It's very disorienting not to have that, at least that bed of white noise that we hear everywhere. Even in a studio where you're recording, you want to have some reflection of sound, with some ambient sound. Otherwise, it just sounds completely dead.
Yep.
But it worked, and they used that, and they must add echo or something to the voice.
I guess they
right?
can do whatever they want because
They can do
there's
whatever they
literally nothing else, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just pure sound.
That's crazy.
Well, this was for product testing, so it absorbs 99.9% of sound. I'm having a look here. It looks like, do you know 2709 East 25th Street in Minneapolis?
It'd be close to downtown.
Because you could probably go there and check
Probably
it
could.
out.
And was it made for, you said product testing?
Product
For
testing,
testing the noises that products make, or what?
when you throw them against a wall.
Because there's a lot of products come from Minneapolis, like cereals, like Pillsbury.
Oh, the crunch factor.
Totally. The crunch factor could be that.
Oh, imagine if that was what it was for.
Target. Do you guys know the Target department store? That's-
We have an
we have
equivalent,
Target.
but I think
you
it's
have
a different.
Target? That's from Minneapolis.
Well, I
Really?
think
Yeah,
it's-
the Dayton's family, who I visited people who were Daytons when I was a kid. They went to the same church as my parents, and we went to their house, and we were just astounded because we were like lower middle class or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They had so many rooms in their house we couldn't count them, and they had like a pool table in the basement. Blew our minds.
Yeah, wow.
You guys have a pool table in your house? We couldn't believe it. And they were the Daytons, so it was a Dayton's department store, and Dayton's created Target as like a subsidiary.
Yeah.
More like, Dayton's is like fancy department store. Target is like, let's make a department store for the regular people.
Right, for the
And
regular
so
Joe.
Target like really took off. Dayton's is kind of gone now, but Target is, I can't believe it's
Is it
in
the same?
Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
you
we
guys
have as
have
well.
Target?
We have
That's so
Target.
It is,
impressive.
but it's not. It's technically. So I think it's like it's like an American got on a ship, came to Australia, and then lost contact with their old family in America. So we
That'll
borrowed
happen.
everything, but it's now owned
You
by.
can't, so
Like
you can't buy groceries at Target. You can only buy some snacks. But
Can you buy firearms from your Target?
Probably in the South.
Yeah, right.
you can at Walmart.
I mean,
for
ironically,
sure.
Walmart
it's
sells.
called Target, surely.
It's called Target. But I noticed the Hungry Jack's logo is
Burger
the
King.
Burger
Burger
King.
King.
logo. So
that's
is
it.
that the same company they changed the name, or what was
So
that?
what happened very briefly was the trademark for Burger King existed when they came over. They couldn't get Burger King. They tried.
But they just love that logo.
Yeah, and the Whopper, they have the Whopper though.
Right.
And then I think eventually the original Burger King probably gave up. But
It
by
did,
that,
yeah.
by then
It's so
Hungry
far
Jack's-
away. If you're Target or you're Burger King, you just give up. It's too far away.
Yep.
Like, wait, we're going to send somebody? How long is that flight? Let him have it.
Yeah.
Let him
Exactly.
have it.
And we have Woolworths as well. My favorite
Woolies.
line, Woolies, yeah. My
Yeah, but
favorite.
it's different. I think Woolworths back in the States is a department
Yes.
store.
Stay out of Woolworths. It was from our brother, our brother.
Oh, brother, where art thou?
Thou. There's a line where he gets kicked out of Woolworths. And stay out of Woolworths. I love that. In fact, I often say it to people as they walk out of Woolworths. So stay out of
Good
Woolworths.
thing to say, yeah. But here it's like a grocery store.
It is. Yeah,
and
massive.
It's totally different. So
Massive.
it comes here and it does just like the animals do. It evolves so that it's unrecognizable from the original.
That's it.
So you guys have pouches, we don't have marsupials. So everything just changes when it comes to Australia.
Even your possum is not even our possum.
No,
Our possum's
totally different.
Our possums are cute. Your possums are awful.
Our possums are very cute. Yours
Well,
are like
you-
opossums and they're angry.
Yeah.
Oh, possum, we're out there. Yeah.
There it is. All right.
Anyway, that's wonderful trivia, and I'm excited to check that place
Yes,
out. I don't know if
honestly.
it's accessible to the public, but I'll try it.
There's tours on the website.
There are
It says that you
tours,
can book a
okay.
tour. So what we might do is when you get back home, might send you off on a little correspondence journey.
I'll do it. Now,
do
why-
it. You could record from in there. You'll be like, oh, my ears.
But why wasn't the Theremin Museum on your trivia?
Well, why don't you take your theremin into this place and we can have a little listen.
Be amazing.
Amazing. All right. Funny in the moment. I've explained this segment to you prior, Scott. It's like where we like to bring a bit of joy into our everyday life. Sometimes it's Morry. Today it's me, unless you have one as well.
No, it's all yours.
So I'll tell you my story and you can see whether you think it's funny in the moment or if you just had to be there. So Morry and I were at the Raw finals at the Town Hall.
Town Hall, Melbourne Town Hall.
And we were lining up. I was waiting to go in. Very narrow walkway, and we all had to press against the wall because a parade of volunteers started walking down with wheelchairs for, I guess, people who need accessible, fast pass or whatever we call it in conventions. However, there was nobody in the wheelchair at this time, and so I turned to who I thought was my friend behind me, but it was a random person, and I said, "Gee, I hope all those disabled ghosts enjoy the show." Nobody laughed.
No one laughed.
Nobody laughed.
They're too stiff.
It was a bit too much. And look, I think accessibility in the ghost world is a big topic that not enough people are talking about, actually. I was just trying to raise visibility.
Oh, bang, bang.
But
I think it's funny. I think ghosts are funny. Does this segment have to be you attempting to make a joke, or can it be just a situation?
it can be a
that's
situation.
Often, as my son told me, you got aired, right? That's
Oh,
Gen
that's
Z.
a Gen Z thing. You got aired.
You got
bro.
aired,
Got
as in
aired.
no reaction from the person you're trying to make laugh. So I'll say something in a department store to someone, and I might get a reaction, and they might
Like, stay out of Woolworths.
And I'll get a Woolworths. That'd be a perfect example. We'll have to take you to one of our most important centres, both for cuisine and for weekend hobbies, and that's called Bunnings. I'll explain it off air, I think. But everyone else who's Australian listening to this knows
They
that one of the most famous cuisines in Australia is found at Bunnings. Often I will see someone in Bunnings, for example, one time I have a dog, and a woman said to me, she funny in the moment to me.
Oh.
She said, "What aisle do I get one of those from?" Complete stranger. Right, so that's what we're trying to encourage. We're trying to encourage.
What did you say back to her, though?
I don't know.
Should have thought of something.
Yeah, I have to. I gave her. I think I nodded in appreciation. Well done, well done. And that's what we're trying to do to encourage, improve society in general.
Yeah, I think
get
that-
strangers to communicate.
Yeah, well, I think I have one. Can I share one?
Please.
So, do you guys know the movie "It's a Wonderful Life" with Jimmy Stewart? They
Yeah.
played that at Christmas here.
Yeah,
Classic.
That's right.
So, you mentioned stay out of Woolworths. I'm a big fan of finding the right moment to do a quote from a movie.
Yep.
Because I just love movie quotes. And so there's a wonderful scene in the movie at the end after George Bailey realizes he's better off alive, and he's racing through Bedford Falls, Yay, Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. And Mr. Potter says, Happy New Year to you in jail. You guys know that scene? Anyway, so driving down the highway in Chicago, and it's snowing, it's winter, and this maniac comes from behind me, clearly drunk, just weaving in and out of lanes, passing us. And I'm like, oh, whoa, look at that guy. That's terrible. Like I was scared. I had to veer to avoid getting hit by him. He gets a little bit ahead of us, and a cop car pulls up. And by the way, as I mentioned, it's snowing. It's winter. Yeah. The snow is this beautiful, like, picture book snow. Each snowflake comes down very slowly, and it's like a beautiful little puff. And so the cop pulls him over, and I come up to the guy. I roll down my window, and did I mention it was New Year's Eve?
Yeah, well.
It was New Year's Eve, winter. And I was able to say to the gentleman in the car, Happy New Year to you in jail. And it was just such a beautiful feeling. Now that's joy, not for him, but I felt a lot of joy.
Did the cop laugh at least?
Yeah. Well, I hope. I couldn't see. I was literally going by him, 40 miles an hour. But
So, as long as you brought joy to someone, we'll assume it was the cop.
Totally.
Yeah.
He probably enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The person I was driving with, my friend Peter Hillerin, he also enjoyed it greatly because he and I are big It's a Wonderful Life fans. And I didn't warn him that I was going to do it. I just did it. And he was like, oh my God, a thing of beauty.
There's such power.
The best recitation of that line, the best movie quote ever.
And it will never get better than that.
No, it was just perfect. It was a perfect situation.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You can find Scott at the Business of Comedy Conference speaking at the lunch keynote, Why We Need Satire for Healthy Democracy. And you might be able to find Scott at a few other places around Melbourne, this comedy festival. I'm not going to give anything away, but I'll keep you guys updated.
Don't promote anything.
No, why would I promote anything like that? Scott, fantastic to have you on the podcast.
Yeah.
Fantastic to have you.
This is my pure pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Melbourne.
Oh, it's so great to be in Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Perfectly pronounced. And the first time not only to Melbourne, but also to Australia.
Yep. First time in Australia.
And we are real. We're not actors. We're not Americans pretending to be Australians.
Right. Everybody here is real.
It's not fake.
It's blowing my mind a little bit. And I know I pronounce Australia wrong because here it's pronounced Australia.
That's true. Australia.
Australia.
People do the R at the end.
Good. Well, if we're picking on each other, T's. I notice that Americans often don't say, like, how do you say, and I won't say it to give you a clear, if something is at the highest priority, starting with IMP.
Important.
Okay.
It's not important. Is that what you're worried about? The extra T?
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried that you forget the T. There are two T's in
Important.
Import and.
No, and there's another way to say it. If you're from the Bronx, you say important.
Important.
That's what I hear.
That's really important.
Important. Yeah. So
You
we
just drop the whole thing.
It annoys me. Anyway.
And there's another thing. Yeah, there's so many different. Toronto. If you're from Toronto, you pronounce it Toronto. If you're a tourist, you pronounce it Toronto. And that's how they know you're not from there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, we think you are important.
I appreciate
Yes.
it very much.
That's been another great episode, guys, of This Week
in
Comedy.
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you liked that. I just did a little bit of weed.